Hello and welcome to my channel, your go-to source for the latest in USA Gossip 24. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for all the updates. Let's dive right in.
Kelly Ripa brought up a delicate subject during a recent episode of Live with Kelly and Mark. Her husband and co-host, Mark Consuelos, got candid about a mental health issue that he has been secretly struggling with for a while now. Keep reading for more details on the shocking admission. Kelly Ripa talks aging phases on morning talk show. Kelly Ripa hopes to grow old with her husband of nearly 30 years. She married Mark Consuelos in 1996 after meeting on the set of All My Children. They live in New York City, near where the talk show is filmed. He joined her as permanent co-host of Live after Ryan Seacrest left. The married couple often uses their real-life experiences for the opening banter before welcoming guests on the show. During a recent episode, Kelly Ripa brought up the topic of aging and quoted a study that said that people go into the late aging phase around 83 years old. Mark Consuelos asked what stage they're in. Kelly Ripa turned 55 in October. Her husband turns the same age in March. The Live host revealed that they are both in the adult stage of aging. The BBC reported in November 2025 that new research revealed the 5 brain phases of aging. Childhood, from birth to age 9; adolescence, from 9 to 32; adulthood, from 32 to 66; early aging, from 66 to 83; late aging, from 83 and beyond. Mark Consuelos had a shocking admission about his age-related mental health struggles. Live host Mark Consuelos shares mental health concern. Mark Consuelos asked his wife if there was any way to stave off aging. The Live host replied that no, it just happens. Her husband looked concerned when he admitted to forgetting names and asked her if she does, too. Kelly Ripa didn't hear the question, which prompted Mark Consuelos to admit that he forgets the names of people he knows. The daytime talk show host revealed last month that he had his first colonoscopy. He admitted that at 54, he was late getting the procedure. He opened up about the awkward and inappropriate way he behaved from the anesthesia. Memory loss causes memory loss is a common side effect of aging. However, it can also be caused by other issues. According to the Cleveland Clinic, taking longer to remember things is something most people deal with as we age. While minor issues with memory are just part of aging, for some people, it's a sign of a more serious diagnosis. Sometimes memory loss is an early sign of dementia, Alzheimer's, or is caused by mental health issues. If your memory loss is severe, you should get checked out by a doctor. However, memory loss is to be expected to some degree as we age. Mark Consuelos forgetting people's names is likely just a side effect of aging. Tell us in the comments if you have the same problem. For years, Mark Consuelos has been known as one of daytime television's most confident and charismatic figures. Whether flashing his signature grin beside wife Kelly Ripa on Live with Kelly and Mark or joking effortlessly with celebrity guests, Consuelos has long projected the image of someone who has it all together. But in a moment that stunned viewers and quickly spread across social media, the beloved co-host recently pulled back the curtain and shared a deeply personal mental health concern, one that reminded millions that even the strongest smiles can hide silent struggles. The revelation didn't come in the form of a dramatic breakdown or a tear-filled monologue. Instead, it unfolded quietly, honestly, and with a vulnerability that felt strikingly real. And that may be exactly why it resonated so powerfully. A surprising moment on Live. The conversation began innocently enough. During a discussion about stress, workload, and the pressures of modern life, Consuelos paused, just briefly, before admitting that he's been navigating a period of emotional and mental strain behind the scenes. It was a rare moment of seriousness on a show known for its humor and lighthearted banter. I think sometimes people assume that because you're smiling, because you're successful, because you're busy, that everything's fine, he said. But that's not always the case. The studio grew noticeably quieter. Kelly Ripa, visibly attentive, turned toward her husband not as a co-host, but as a partner who has walked beside him for decades. The audience, both in the studio and at home, sensed something different was happening. Breaking the always fine illusion, Consuelos explained that the transition into full-time hosting, combined with long workdays, constant public scrutiny, and the pressure of living up to expectations, had taken a toll on his mental well-being. While he didn't label his experience with clinical terms, he spoke openly about feeling overwhelmed, mentally exhausted, and at times emotionally drained. "It sneaks up on you," he admitted. "You don't wake up one day and say, 'I'm struggling.' It's more like you realize you're not sleeping well, you're more irritable, and things that never bothered you suddenly feel heavy." For viewers, the honesty was startling and refreshing. Mental health conversations on daytime television are often reserved for experts or special segments. Seeing a host, particularly a male host, speak openly about emotional strain felt both rare and important. Kelly Ripa's quiet support speaks volumes. As Consuelos spoke, Kelly Ripa didn't interrupt or attempt to lighten the moment with humor. Instead, she listened, nodded, and offered gentle affirmations. When she finally spoke, her words were simple but powerful. "I'm really proud of you for saying that out loud," she said. "A lot of people don't." Her response underscored something viewers have long admired about the couple: their partnership. Married for nearly 3 decades, Ripa and Consuelos have built a public relationship that balances playfulness with authenticity. In this moment, that authenticity took center stage. Ripa also acknowledged that mental health is an ongoing conversation in their household, one that ebbs and flows depending on life's demands. "We check in with each other," she added. "Sometimes one of us is strong, sometimes the other needs more support." The pressure of being on all the time. One of the most striking aspects of Consuelos' admission was his description of the pressure to always appear upbeat. As a television host, his job requires energy, charm, and emotional availability, even on days when he may not feel any of those things internally. "There's an expectation to show up as the best version of yourself every single day," he said. "And most days, I love that. But some days, it's harder than people realize." This sentiment resonated deeply with viewers who work in customer-facing roles, caregiving positions, or any job that demands emotional labor. Social media quickly filled with messages from fans thanking Consuelos for articulating something they'd felt but struggled to express. Fans react, "Thank you for being honest." Within hours of the episode airing, clips of the moment circulated widely online. Fans praised Consuelos for his vulnerability, particularly noting how meaningful it was to hear a male public figure speak openly about mental health without shame. "Seeing Mark talk about this made me feel less alone," one viewer wrote. "It takes real strength to admit you're not okay," another commented. "Men need to hear this from other men," a third added. Mental health advocates also weighed in, applauding the conversation for normalizing emotional honesty and encouraging people to seek support before reaching a breaking point. A broader conversation about men's mental health. Consuelos' admission arrived at a time when discussions about men's mental health are gaining overdue attention. Studies consistently show that men are less likely to seek help for mental health concerns, often due to stigma or societal expectations around masculinity. By speaking candidly on a widely watched platform, Consuelos inadvertently became part of a larger movement, one that challenges the idea that men must endure emotional struggles in silence. "I think a lot of us were taught to just push through," he said. "But pushing through isn't always the healthiest option." That statement alone struck a chord with viewers of all ages, particularly fathers and young men who grew up with similar messages. Not a crisis, but a check-in. Importantly, Consuelos clarified that he is not in crisis and that he feels supported both personally and professionally. His message wasn't one of alarm, but of awareness. "This is me checking in, with myself and with everyone watching," he explained. "If you're feeling off, it's okay to say that." He also emphasized the importance of rest, boundaries, and open communication, noting that acknowledging mental strain early can prevent deeper issues down the line. How Liv handled the moment. Producers allowed the conversation to unfold naturally, without cutting away or rushing through it. That decision earned praise from viewers who appreciated the show's willingness to let authenticity take precedence over pacing. In an era of carefully curated television moments, the unscripted honesty stood out. It reminded audiences that daytime TV can be more than entertainment, it can also be a space for meaningful connection. A role model without intending to be one, Consuelos never positioned himself as a mental health spokesperson, nor did he claim to have answers. Instead, he simply shared his experience. And in doing so, he modeled something powerful, the courage to be honest even when it's uncomfortable. "I'm still learning," he said. "And I'm okay with that." That humility, paired with his visibility, made the moment resonate far beyond the live studio. What this means going forward, while Consuelos hasn't indicated that mental health will become a recurring topic on the show, many viewers hope this moment opens the door for continued conversations. At the very least, it has already encouraged countless people to reflect on their own well-being. For fans, the takeaway wasn't sadness, it was solidarity. "You don't have to be broken to talk about mental health," one viewer wrote. "You just have to be human." A reminder we all needed in sharing his mental health concern. Mark Consuelos didn't diminish his strength, he redefined it. He reminded audiences that resilience doesn't mean never struggling, it means recognizing when you need care. As Live with Kelly and Mark continues to blend humor, heart, and honesty, this moment will likely stand out as one of its most meaningful, not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. And in a world that often demands perfection, that kind of reality is something worth applauding.